In the Zone, presented by TD.
It's In the Zone, presented by TD. Ben Ennis and Mike Wilner inside a closed-roof Rogers Center. Final game of this three-game set against the Oakland A's. I like day games. I like that there's all these kiddies here.
Camp day. There's lots of kiddies. It's great. They're lining up for autographs.
Yeah.
Various and sundry members of the Oakland Athletics.
It is. I like day baseball. It kind of. I'm sure it's not good for people who work like day jobs and actually are at work and they don't get to watch the Blue Jays or keep track of them. But
what are you, Lee Ely all of a sudden?
Yeah,
We're not at Wrigley Field in 1982.
Yeah, that's my bad. All right, let's talk about the biggest story, I guess, surrounding the Blue Jays right now. It has to be Ricky Romero and what's gone on with him. Not just last start, but I mean, it's been all season long pretty much for him. But he's on a 6-game losing streak. His last couple have been just atrocious. I mean, it's the shortest start ever in his last outing. I mean,
but the two before that were quite good. Right, I mean, and it's easy to forget in this morass.
Maybe not the two, though.
Yeah, the two starts around the All-Star break against Cleveland and the Yankees.
Not the two previous to his
the last two have been terrible.
Yeah.
And the two before those two have been awful. Mm-hmm. And what's weird, the weirdest thing of the whole thing is that he's lost 6 starts in a row. 2 of those starts have been very, very good. And yet over 6 starts has an ERA of 10.84 and or 10.48 and a whip of 2.3. So with 2 good starts added in, the other 4 have been so bad to skew his numbers so completely.
It's been awful for him, and obviously he's as distraught as anybody else. I like doing it right in the middle of an autograph signing. Awesome. Nobody's asked for our autographs, which is kind of weird.
Someday it'll happen for you.
I don't get that one
I
at all.
have been asked for autographs on several occasions.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, I'm always out of sorts when that happens.
Well, now you're a big internet star thanks to the podcast. The other big issue is another Blue Jay going down with an injury. Big shocker. J.P. Arencibia going to be out about 6 weeks with a broken hand. And, I mean, it was comical before. Like, it was comical 4 injuries ago.
Yeah.
But now it's, I mean, what can you say about it?
Well, it's now beyond ridiculous. You know, it was so much, you just have to laugh because what else are you going to do? And now, I mean, come on already. Mm-hmm. In the last week and a half, you've lost Jose Bautista and J.P. Arencibia, and but for some incredible luck, Brett Lawrie's still in the lineup. You know, how he survived that 80-foot fall, right, at Yankee Stadium, I'll never know, but he did. And it really is, it's just crazy right now. And yet, what are they, a game under 500?
Yep.
Which is even crazier.
It is crazy.
Now, there are only 3 players on the 15-day DL for the Blue Jays, but there are 8 pitchers on the 60-day or something.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is crazy.
And Ricky's broken.
Yeah.
And what they have to figure out is how to fix him. And nobody has an answer.
No, and if you do, maybe you can tweet us. He's at Wilderness590, and I'm at Bennis SNet. One of the bright spots for the Blue Jays has been the return of Adam Lind to the major leagues, and now that he's the full-time DH, it seems like he's back to his great hitting ways. We got a chance to catch up with Mr. Lind. Here's that conversation. Adam, I got to ask you, I mean, you've been great since you returned from AAA. It seems like you're more comfortable as the DH. I mean, that's just looking at it from my perspective, and I mean, the numbers show that as well. Do you feel any different as the DH as opposed to playing in the field?
No, it's just, I think that's just a circumstance that we're in. It gives our team more flexibility. When I was DHing, especially when we had Francisco here on our team. But, it just so happened to work out. I was struggling when I played first base before I left. And then, the situation at hand was me being a DH, and that's where I had to produce at.
Well, when you were playing first base, we know you had the injury problems, a couple of back tweaks. I mean, it's got to be at least a little better for that as far as staying healthy, right?
As odd as it may sound, I think it's better to play first because this dugout's not exactly a reclainer.
It's one of the worst dugouts in the major leagues. Where'd you rank it?
It's not a bad dugout. It's just to sit on it for if you don't hit for 2 innings, it's kind of rough on the lower back, so I got to stay active. So even though I'm DH and I'm still active during the whole game.
Yeah, but you're not sitting down here the whole game, are you? You're back looking at video. Are you taking some swings in the cage?
Definitely taking some swings. Cage is kind of far, but I'm taking some dry hacks in the clubhouse.
I had to think of a good question to ask you now because Ben just used up all the good ones.
Sorry, man.
Do you buy? I mean, I know you said you were struggling when you were at first base, but that was more of that was when you were struggling as opposed to you were playing first base. Do you put any stock into this guy is more comfortable doing this? I mean, they say Edwin's a better hitter when he plays first than when he DHs, or vice versa. Adam's a better hitter when he DHs. Does that mean anything to you, or is hitting just hitting?
I think hitting is just hitting. It's just something to talk about. He did well. He's done very well in both positions. I think I can do well in both positions, but like I said, I think it offers the team more flexibility when I DH.
Sticking with that same vein, sorry, I know I get 2 questions. You should get 2. I'm sorry, but I jumped in. But that's my bad. But sticking in that same vein, I mean, you talk about guys just hitting is hitting. But you look at the numbers, it's kind of stark when guys move in the lineup. Like Colby Rasmus really started to come alive when he started hitting out of that 2-hole. And, statisticians and sabermetricians seem to think that it doesn't have any impact. What do you think?
I agree with that. I think some people it's just, a mindset. Some people really, enjoy hitting right at the beginning of the game, whether it be the first inning or, leading off games. Some people like the low pressure hitting 8th or 9th. It just depends on the player's personality.
It didn't take you too long to move back up in the lineup once you got back here, but towards the end of your stint before you got sent down and then right when you came back, you were hitting 8th, and they said that'll just keep the pressure off of him. And to me it seemed like, well, why do you have to protect him? You have thrived as a 3 hitter in the major leagues before.
Yeah, I think that's just how the process works. As you've seen with other guys we've called up from the minor leagues, that's just the way it goes.
Do you feel back to yourself? Do you feel the way you felt a couple of years ago? I mean, we've seen you at the plate and hitting well over 300. You had the home runs come back, and it looks like you look like the old Adam Lind right now. Do you feel like the old Adam Lind? And did you ever not feel like the old Adam Lind?
Well, I never, you just feel comfortable or uncomfortable in the box. That's really all it is. And when you feel comfortable, that's when you do good. When you feel uncomfortable and lost, that's when you do bad, and you try and stay away from those times of being lost. Is there an indicator for you that tells you you're locked in? Is it driving a double to left center field or something like that? Well, a lot of people don't think. Some people think batting practice is just batting practice, but for me, I think it's pretty important. It sets the tone for me for the game. Some people it doesn't matter, but when I have good BP, usually I have good games. I got to ask you, too, if you feel like, I know you were in Vegas for 5 weeks, but do you kind of feel like you're still in Vegas here with everybody dropping like flies and half the 51s in the lineup on a regular basis? Well, people in Vegas didn't drop. They rose to the big leagues. It's been an interesting summer for everybody. It makes guys in the minor leagues stay on their toes because if you're the guy who's hot, you're going to be the one who's called up. But as we've seen, maybe not some of the guys that we expected to get the call have got the call, and they filled in and done a nice job. And it just shows why organizational depth is so important.
Adam, thanks a lot for this. Really appreciate it. There's Adam Lind, one of the
nice guys. Yeah,
he's a terrific guy. Yeah, but we only interview the good guys. Yeah. Maybe we should do a whole jerks show where we just interview the jerks in Major League Baseball.
That would be great. When are the Yankees coming to town?
Don't be like that. Actually,
are they bringing A-Rod with them? He's busted up now.
Yeah. We won't call out the jerks, but there are a few jerks. They don't appear on this podcast, though. Again, follow him on Twitter, Wilnerness590, like he needs any more followers. I'm the one that needs the followers, at Ennis. SNet. Also, check out our audio podcast on sportsnet590.ca. That's been In the Zone, presented by TD. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.